Hello and welcome back. Today we have 2 pounds of alligator meat. If you've ever had this, it tastes a lot like chicken. So I had the thought of why don't we bread this, deep fry it, and try and make some alligator parmesan. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our alligator meat and we are going to marinate this in some creamy parmesan dressing. We're going to put some more on top of this piece. And we're going to throw in our second piece. Now, to make this interesting, we are going to marinate this in a vacuum chamber. So here you can see our vacuum chamber. And we have our meat in our bowl. We're going to leave our meat in our bowl because we don't want to make a huge mess of the chamber. And it should work just fine. So here our alligator meat is totally covered with our dressing. This bowl fits perfectly into our vacuum chamber. We are going to drop it in and we're going to get started pulling a vacuum on it. Alright, so let's drop this bowl into our chamber. Like so. We're going to put our lid on. And now it's time to pull a vacuum on our chamber. Now, I'm not very familiar with doing this, so I'm going to leave this in for probably about an hour, and we'll see how it turns out. If you're more familiar with vacuum marinating, maybe you can let me know in the comments what you think. So, okay, let's get started here. Alright, let's get our pump turned on. This valve we're going to close and start building our vacuum in the chamber. And once we build our vacuum, we're going to close the blue valve and hope that it holds the vacuum. Alright, so we've pulled a little less than 30 inches of vacuum on this alligator meat and our marinade. And you can see with the blue valve still open, we are losing vacuum. So we're going to pull some more vacuum on this and we're going to close the blue valve and hope that it holds. We're getting some nice bubbles in here, so it definitely is doing something. Alright, now let's close our blue valve here, and hopefully we can hold our vacuum here for about an hour. Seems to be holding pretty good so far. We're almost at 30 inches of vacuum. Alright, so it's been about an hour. Our alligator has been marinating for about an hour in our vacuum. Now it's time to release the vacuum. And we're going to start cooking after that. Okay, let's get this out of our chamber and see how we did. So this is our vacuum marinated alligator meat. Hopefully it's pretty good. We'll see after it goes through the deep fryer. Alright, so I've cut and broken our alligator meat up into some pieces. We are going to flour these pieces. We are going to egg wash these pieces. And then we are going to coat them with seasoned breadcrumbs. And after that, they're going to end up on this plate right here. Okay. You see that our gator is gone. It has gone through the flour. It has gone through the egg wash. It has gone through the breadcrumbs. And there are the finished pieces ready to be deep fried. And turned into our alligator parmesan. Let's get over to the deep fryer.
Yeah.
Alright, we have our oil heating up. We want to heat our oil up to about 350 degrees. And then we're going to start dropping in our alligator. While we're waiting for our oil to heat up, we're going to prep our baking dish here with some tomato sauce on the bottom. Now, when the pieces of gator are finished, we're going to put them in on top of this sauce. We're going to put some mozzarella cheese on them, and we're going to get them all set up. So our oil's at 350. Let's drop our gator in and let's get it deep fried. Okay, so our first couple pieces are finished. We're going to take them out of the basket. We're going to put them on a plate with a paper towel so that they can drain. And after we get these out of the basket, we're going to put in some other pieces and we're going to deep fry them too, and we'll start putting together our dish. Alright, so let's get the rest of these pieces in the fryer, get them cooked up, and get them ready to go. Alright, now we're going to place our finished alligator on top of our spaghetti sauce here. And here we have our last few pieces finishing up in our deep fryer. And let's get them added to our baking dish. Now we're going to add some more spaghetti sauce on top. I'm using the Del Grosso meat flavored sauce. You could make your own or you could use whatever you really like, but we're just using something out of a jar because it's quick and easy. And we're going to add a second jar of tomato basil sauce. Okay, now we're going to add some mozzarella cheese to the top. Alright, now we're going to add some finely grated pecorino romano and some finely grated Parmesan cheese to the top. Okay, our gator parm is covered and ready to go into the oven. At 350 degrees, we're going to put it in for probably about 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so. Let's get that in the oven, and we'll be back. Alright, so our Parmesan gator is out of the oven. We're going to pull the cover off, and we're going to put it back in probably for about another 15 minutes or so. And over here we have our water boiling so we can cook our pasta while this is in for the extra 15 minutes. Alright, so the Parmesan gator is out and it looks pretty much ready to eat. So here's our finished product. I have to say, this is pretty good. However, I have pan-fried and I have grilled alligator in the past, and doing it this way, you kind of get a little bit of a fishy taste. It's still a chicken texture, but it has a little bit of a fishy taste to it. It's not bad. I do like it, and I would do this again. But if you're not a fish person, you may not like this. However, I can eat almost anything that's been deep fried. I mean, come on, can't we all? As always, if you like this content, like and subscribe. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think in the bottom. I always try to answer them all. Okay, now, let's cut into this and see how it looks. And that is some alligator parmesan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. That is pretty good.